Hello and welcome to the top pre-modern decks of 2023. So pre-modern is a closed format, meaning it just uses cards from these sets, and we will not be adding any new sets. I made a video like this last year and it was very popular, so I thought I'd do it again for this year as we have had some changes. But it's worth saying there are so many different decks in pre-modern, and really it's best to just play what you like. You really can have great success with anything as long as you know how to play it and you know the matchups. It's also worth saying this video is a general overview. If you want a detailed look at any of the decks, please do check out my channel. So first let's talk about mono black, as last year people did mention in the comments that if I group all of the black decks together, they would come in as one of the most played decks. However, I'm not personally going to do that because I do think these decks have quite different play styles. Some of them run completely different cards and it really does just feel like they're very different decks. However, if you did want to group them all together, they would be coming in around 5th, but I just don't think it's right to do so. And as a bonus 11th place deck, Enchantress, this one has been moving up very quickly, and you play lots of enchantments that generate value either by drawing cards, locking the opponent out of the game, or generating mana, and then you use all of that advantage to draw through your whole deck until you find a win condition. And coming in 10th place is the Solution. This deck has the best of red, white and blue to make a tempo kind of control aggro deck. This deck's game plan is to stop the opponent from doing what they want to do long enough while we can beat them down and get the win. Expect cards like Meddling Mage, Mother of Runes and loads of removal. And in 9th place, oh please no, it's Stasis. This has to be one of the most hated decks of all time. It's a control prison deck that locks opponents out of the game with Stasis, while being able to pay the upkeep forever with Forsaken City, until eventually you hit a win condition like Black Vice that can just kill your opponent over several turns. And the 8th most played deck is Oath. There's a few different variants, some are more prisony, some play burn, but the most common version is the green-white version that aims to put a huge creature into play as quickly as possible from an Oath, and then just beat our opponent down with it. The 7th most played is STIFLENOUGHT. This is a similar kind of idea, put a huge creature into play as early as turn 1. You can play this deck in almost any kind of color combination you like. Each different color adds a unique aspect to the deck, so it can be quite versatile. And in 6th place we have Madness, which uses the Madness ability to put creatures into play at instant speed, often for a very reduced mana cost. There's two versions of this deck, a red-green and a blue-green. The blue-green version seems to be the most popular these days, which uses counter magic as a kind of tempo aggro kind of strategy. And in 5th place we have Elves. Play a lot of Elves, get a lot of mana. It has a toolbox with survival and loads of synergy going on. Once we've generated all that mana, we can churn through our deck with survival and get the win. In 4th place, we have the Rock, the classic black-green mid-range value kind of deck. It has discard, it has removal, it has beefy creatures, and it's highly customizable depending on the meta you play in. In 3rd place, we have SLIGH, or some newer players call this Burn, but it's not actually just a throw everything at their face kind of burn deck. You often try to control the board with the burn removal, and then only use it on their face towards the end of the game when you can finish them off. In 2nd place, we have the iconic blue-white LANDSTILL deck. This was the most played deck, and actually, if you combine it with Tidestill decks, it would still be the most played deck. It just has all of the classic blue-white control cards you'd expect. Counter magic, removal, sweepers, card draw, all that stuff. But in 1st place, we have the iconic Goblin deck. This is the most played deck of pre-modern this year. It has loads of small, efficient creatures that have a crazy amount of synergy, and the deck just packs so much card advantage and resiliency with all of those comes into play effects and things that make tokens. So it's just really a super cool, iconic, and strong deck. So actually this year we've had quite a few changes. Stasis, as much as I hate it, is in the top 10 now, and I can really see why. It is a powerful deck and it is very cheap money wise, so even though I do hate it, I totally understand why a lot of players are picking that up. Enchantress is another one that's quite a unique deck that really offers a different kind of playstyle. Dead Guy Ale is a super iconic deck, But in Premodern, it can be a bit clunky with a terrible mana base, and some of the cards can be dead in certain matchups. So say if you draw all your discard against an aggro deck, it can feel a bit awkward. And I think this has moved a lot of players off the deck onto other decks. In terms of Devourer, we have a lot more newer players to Premodern, and those players tend to gravitate towards the more iconic decks like Goblins, Madness, The Rock, and it's just those other decks got boosted up more than Devourer did. So if you enjoy this video, please do like, comment and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I'm looking forward to next year where I can make another video and we can look at everything that's changed. So thank you for watching, and bye bye.